Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live podcast, where I, Sunita, along with my co-host Tracy, we hop on every Friday and talk about all things North Fork. I can't believe we are here at the last episode of 2025. I mean, I know every year it sounds like time goes by really fast, but these last couple of months, I would say since summer to now, especially because we had the most weirdest fall. I'm not sure we had it. And then we had the coldest, brutal, we had snow before it even was winter technically. That even though it's going to snow tomorrow, I think it'll feel Christmassy and wintry. I hope a lot of you have a chance to spend time. Good morning, Gianna. How are you?
Hello.
Are you feeling like it's the most magical time of the year?
Oh, I'm a mom of like a 3 and 1-year-old, so I'm just tired.
Oh my goodness,
But
that is
it's
so funny. Wait till
so
Tracy gets
wonderful.
on, because
Yeah,
those were her exact words to me this morning.
I'm
Because
exhausted.
she has a 3-year-old. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
those days. You were wrapping presents, and Santa was, trying to be the best Santa in the world.
Yes, but so magical, absolutely magical. And
Right?
I hear that 5 and 3 is really good. So next year, when the kids are like 4 and 2, uh, it'll be, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Well, each stage has a thing for me. I know I've shared a couple of times. I have 3 grown boys, so I'm done with the
Oh,
3 and
I
2 and
love
4.
that. I love that for you.
Yeah.
Although,
Oh my, and they're all adults, literally. They're all off my payroll. They're all doing their own thing. They're in their 20s. The youngest is 23, 24 actually, he just turned. And for some, it doesn't always happen. They live all over the country, but
mm,
somehow it's magically aligned and they're all coming home, even though it's a couple of days post Christmas. Like my youngest already arrived. And then tonight, the oldest is coming. And then in another 2 days, the middle one is coming. So we're doing our Christmas
I
dinner.
love that.
I know
I
on the
love
20.
that. I love that because it puts less pressure on the actual day,
Oh, if you want to
and
go
it
really
keeps it.
crazy, I'll tell you what we actually have been doing for the last 3 years now. We don't buy a single thing until after the 25th.
Oh, that's so smart.
Well, it just happened. It just so happened because they cannot be here on that day for work
Right?
or whatever. Last few years, we've done it like closer to New Year's. So
That's so
on the
smart.
26th and the 27th and
Like,
all of the days that follow, the boys go together with us to Tangier or to any other places. And we all shop kind of together, but
are
kind of
they? Are
secretly.
there? Are there awesome deals? I
Yeah,
imagine.
some, yes,
Oh,
but also what you mentioned before Christmas, we don't feel the pressure to buy,
right.
buy, buy, and shop, shop, shop. In fact, I went to pick up like a grab bag gift, the Christmas Eve, and the stores look like, one of the stores, I was halfway in New Jersey, looked
Like
like it was
ransacked.
ransacked, and
Yeah.
a
Right.
lot of panic shoppers. And I was like,
Right.
oh, I don't have to panic, but at the same time,
Yes.
I don't have a single thing under my tree yet because
It's
so
not
it's
what Christmas is about. It's about
agreed.
being together.
Agreed, but it's
Um.
different phases. When the kids were little,
Yeah.
we had 300
I
things
know,
under
and
the tree,
I
and they
feel
were
like there
opening.
wasn't. I feel like I didn't do it right this year. I feel like my son didn't have enough, like stuff for him to play. What are you gonna do? I think that's part of the job of being a mom. You never feel like you're doing it quite enough
It's
or
we know we
like
are
right.
so hard on ourselves. We're so
Yes,
hard on ourselves. The kids love the box that the
right.
item came in. Oh my God, I can't wait for Tracy to join this conversation because she just made a post. I haven't talked to her in the last few days about, things are happening in her house that are a little bit chaotic too. Good morning. I
Hi.
hope you've been listening to Gianna.
Speaking of not doing enough, as I'm setting my computer up on top of a sewing machine while
Right.
Clay's
Yes.
watching Bluey, I'm okay. I'm all right.
Ah,
Oh
let's
my
talk
God,
about
Tracy, this
Bluey.
whole conversation has
Bluey.
taken, we haven't even got to what Gianna does, a totally different tone because
Kids,
Gianna,
kids, kids love Bluey, but Bluey is for the parents.
Yes,
And I have sobbed many a time to a Bluey episode.
I
It's
love
so
Bluey.
good. Ah,
So good.
so great. I'll stand
tell
all
me
day
what
long.
is the Bluey? Because my kids grew up to Blue's Clues.
Oh yeah, Blue's Clues is great, and Blue's
Oh
Clues
my
is
God,
still around.
have you guys seen that meme where it says every generation
Has a blue
has a blue
dog.
dog
Yeah,
and ours was Snoop Dogg?
yeah.
Oh, that's
Ah,
funny.
True.
I guess does Barney count because he was purple?
I don't know. I was like,
Barney was
yes, it
like
does.
Barney was like a little sneak peek at like what kind of a person I was going to become, because remember when like people were like burning their Barney toys, and there was that whole like they were rejecting Barney.
Oh, I
um
missed that.
well, it happened, and I remember it was because Barney was caught up in legal trouble. But from my perspective, and I was like entering kindergarten or something like that, and I understood like the overall structure of who the Barney character was, and I remember like being really angry about how people were turning on Barney and being like, "There's nothing wrong with a purple dinosaur teaching children how to read."
Or clean their rooms, because that's what I remember
Yeah.
mostly. It was all about
Oh
clean up,
yeah.
clean up.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love the cleanup song. The cleanup
yeah,
song. You
yeah.
sing the cleanup
Well,
song, and
let's not even talk about the Teletubbies because I don't even know what was going on there.
oh, I don't know. Yeah, the
Did you ever
Teletubbies.
watch that?
I put it on for my kids. It was never a thing for me.
It was
Yeah,
weird. It was just
I'm like,
weird.
you know what? I think that what I don't like about the Teletubbies is I think it's missing a lot of chances to really teach children, because children when they're small, like when they're 2, 3, or they're 1 and 2, like my son is about to turn 2 in March, they're copying everything. So if you want them to be learning how to speak or learning how to read or X, Y, and Z, then these characters that are speaking kind of gibberish, tell it whatever they're speaking. It's just not very helpful. It's not teaching them a lot. They're kind though. I
Well,
like
I think
that.
Tracy, you now. I guess maybe the shows are different because you love the shows that Tilly watches, and there's
I
so
do.
much she learns from them, right?
So,
Yes.
so much. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody says this, but I feel like she's so advanced, and I know. Well, I also know that it also has to do with the fact that because I'm raising her by myself, we have a
Mhm.
whole village of people, and so she is exposed to many, many, many adults and many
Good.
different types of adults. And I mean, she speaks some Spanish. She understands Spanish totally.
Awesome.
Thanks to our nanny and some of the other nannies that they hang out with, and
That's
and
awesome.
I encourage that. And yeah, I mean, right now she's sitting at her present from Santa, which was a Frozen themed makeup vanity. And she
Ooh.
is sitting there. I mean, it is the cutest. I'm trying to capture a video to show everybody, but
Aw. I
she's
love that.
putting on her makeup, which I was like, no, not
It's there's
makeup.
like with the kids programming, and that's like a big thing, like for Harmony, and she understands now. There is a lot of what I call non-tent out there,
Yeah.
and like with the I don't do the YouTube Kids, I don't do that stuff, but because there's a lot of like consumerist like nothing shows out there. So when I go to put something on, Harmony say, "Will it learn us?" Because
Oh,
she wants to know if it's something that that's gonna teach them. So
you know
like
what's interesting though, Gianna? I would say some of the, what'd you call it? Not
on
none
10.
Non-tent. Okay. So Tilly does watch YouTube Kids, and
Mhm.
some of the stuff that she loves the most is other kids playing.
Right.
And because she's an only child, I actually let her watch that because I have now seen her using her dolls to like pack their own suitcase and do the things that she sees the other kids doing, because
Yeah.
I'm not doing that with her. I mean, I do a lot with her, but generally I'll do crafts or, Play-Doh or
It's
things
good
like
for
that.
it's good for Oh, hi Patricia.
Yeah. So it's I like the fact that she watches the other kids play, and it kind of like shows her.
So I do I watch on YouTube, I watch the old Mr. Rogers Neighborhood.
Yeah.
You can find any show, they'll have full episodes. So Daniel Tiger, there's
Yeah.
one.
We love Daniel Tiffany.
He's the best. The old Mr. Rogers. We watch who else? Miss Rachel, especially for
Yeah.
Johnny. Um, Who else? Then there's the new reading, the old Reading Rainbow and the new Reading Rainbow.
Oh,
We watched
wait,
all of those.
what was the one when we were kids with had the swing, the Magic Garden? Do you guys remember that? The Magic Garden?
No, no,
Look that one up. Oh, it was these two
I
ladies
will.
and they had a swing and hanging from a tree with oh, it was great.
Okay, I love this all this talk about kids shows, but I really want to jump back to Gianna's show.
Oh, okay.
And
Thank you. I love my show. It's on right now. I don't know what episode they chose. I do when I'm not
because
in the
usually it's
studio.
live, right?
Hmm.
Can we start over and tell
Yeah.
everybody
Yes.
what your show is and
Okay,
what you
so
do on the East End?
I host the Heart of the East End. It's the morning and midnight show on Long Island's only local NPR radio station, WLIW-FM. It runs 9 to 11. The replay is at midnight. It features music from all decades and genres, usually around a theme, and folks from all walks of life, including you two. You were on this past August, somewhere around International Women's Day. I love living the mission of public broadcasting. That's like a big thing for me, as you know, someone working for an NPR station owned by a PBS affiliate, local PBS television station. It's a really hard year for public media and public broadcasting because we were just defunded this year, but WLIW-FM is certainly not defeated. We've got our end of year fund drive running right now. And actually, today is the first day where all donations made to WLIWFM.org or by phone at 800-262-0717 are matched 3 times over. So all the
Woo!
donations are being tripled from now through the end of the year, which is really magical and
That's
a great
awesome.
way.
We're going to include that. We're going to try to
Oh,
get an
cool.
email out before the end of the year, and we'll definitely include the link
Thank you.
for your funding.
Gianna, tell us, how did you get into broadcasting?
So it's one of those things where, and I forget, I've attributed this quote incorrectly, but it's a great quote, and it says something like, "The road that you take to avoid your destiny is the road that takes you to it." So when I was in college, I lived with an NPR DJ, and I had a bad car wreck, a near-death car wreck in 2008, I think it was, in New Mexico. And although the doctors say that my vocal cords weren't damaged, my voice changed. And I remember I used to go on the air with my roommate. He had the 2 to 5 slot on Saturday nights, and I was a bartender at this venue bar downtown. And I would get off, I would close the bar, and I would go on the air with him. After my accident, I remember I went on the air again, but when I came out of the booth, everyone was like, their mouths were hanging open, and they were like, "Your voice sounds so good. You sound like you should be doing."
You do have a
Yeah.
radio TV
It was,
voice.
and it was funny because that happened to me all the time. Like I would like out and about, walking around. And actually, when I was tending bar at Tweeds, I remember that 𝗘𝘀𝘀𝘁 was sitting at the bar, and he was like, "You send me your reel, because I'm putting together a station at the airport, which is now 103.9." And I'm like, "LOL, what's a reel?" And I just, that sounds like extra work. I'm working at the time, I was working 6 jobs. I was freelancing for several publications and bartending probably at a few places. I might have already been doing security at the time. I had been a cub reporter for the Shelter Island reporter for Times Review News Group, the Suffolk Times, and then I went freelance, and
So were you
then
a journalist major? Were you
oh
a
yeah,
journalist?
yes, I
Okay.
got my degree in photojournalism,
Okay.
minor in creative writing, just because that's I'm a creative writer first and foremost.
So you were thinking more of the writing and reporting field, nothing to do with
I
voice.
I always wanted to be a journalist. I always wanted to be an author as well, and I figured, well, I should learn the business of publishing. And I had been in print for a long time, and I guess, when was it? I was freelancing and I got a call from 𝗚𝗏𝗏 from WRIV, who I knew from hanging out at Jerry Steiner's place on Thursdays. They called it the Meeting of the Misfits once a month. Uh, Business people, politicians, misfits, the misfits of Riverhead would come
I love
together
that.
and drink whiskey and eat. Frankie Boy owned the pizza place next door. He would bring us food. And I remember one day I was at lunch at the what's that place on Manor Lane in Riverhead?
Oh, it's called, it
Oh,
used to be called Diamond Estate?
yeah. Right.
Yes, well, it before it was Diamond Estate.
Okay, well, now it's 18 Bay, so.
Hey.
Do
Merry
you
Oh, it's
Christmas,
18
see?
Bay?
Kelly.
You mean from Shelter Island? They have a
Yes,
Yeah.
new
they moved.
outpost?
They just moved there. Yes,
Oh,
18 Bay moved into that
very
space.
interesting to know. I love
And
that.
wait, all these places you mentioned have been on the East End. So you've
Yes,
been on the East End all along.
since 2011. So it's actually 2026 will be my 15th year,
Wow,
my 15th anniversary.
wow.
And I remember 𝗚𝗏𝗏 calling me and he said, Gianna, I think your ship is leaving. And I said, well, that doesn't sound very good. And he said, well, let me put it to you this way. I think your ship is coming in. And I said, okay, that sounds better. And that's when he offered me an hour spot once a week on his radio station. And that was
And
the
did you have
freelance.
as much experience as Tracy and I have in doing this when you first started?
I was
which
like, wait,
which was
what?
literally
Nothing?
putting it on the phone and going,
Yeah.
"Hi, how are you?"
Well, it's funny because when I remember that bartending job that I talked about earlier, I had been walking back to my dorm room and I was about to go back to New Jersey I went to school in Missouri, our country's first and finest, Mizzou, 1908. And this guy Ben at the bar at the Blue Fugue, he said, Gianna, when you come back from New Jersey, do you want to work setting up hookahs for us here? And I was like, I have no idea how to do that. I would love to, So that's I think it's a very good trait. In fact, being able to step outside of your comfort zone and try new things and work through them. I mean, and to fail, more importantly than anything else, the
But
number one most important ingredient to success is failure. You need to allow yourself to make mistakes and to learn something new.
But also, it's something that you did that a lot of people don't do these days, and I think it's so important. Is it's okay to admit you don't know something.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Oh,
so
I
many
got that
people
from
try to like fake it and lie, and it's totally fine to say I don't know the answer to that, but
that
teach me.
that was taught to me in J school as being the hallmark of a good journalist.
Hmm.
A good journalist will say, I don't know, or, admit that they're learning something. And of course, if they were wrong about something,
Hmm.
it's important. And we are all humans doing this stuff for the first time, and very hopefully we're learning all the way to the end.
I would also go for myself. I feel like that admittance is really more for oneself. And it really just helps improve your own self confidence because it's like, it's okay that I don't know how to do it, but I'm still going to try.
It
So
helps
it isn't really
others.
even about sharing with anybody else. It's really more about accepting your own limitations and being like, that doesn't prevent me from starting something new.
But it will also make you at least appear more trustworthy,
Hmm.
because nothing will endear me more to someone than someone admitting, I don't know.
Because that's
Well,
what
let's
the
find
truth
out.
is, because we all can relate to that because we all feel the
Although
same.
from the service industry side, the I don't know is a little bit different.
I see.
If you are front of house, and someone asks you a question and your answer is I don't know, in my purview, it ought be paired with I'm going to go find out right now. So
Yes.
I will say
Yes.
that.
Yes, I guess depending on it. Okay, so you got your first job, which was in
Mhm.
which was a morning talk. You said.
So it was, yeah, it was in the morning, and it was one of the reasons I took it is because I'm a night owl. I had never been a morning person, but I wanted to be. I wanted to be a morning person. So I was like, well, why don't I teach myself? Why don't I force myself to be a morning person? And it worked. I mean,
I'm still teaching myself.
it's not easy. I never want to. I never want to, but
So
it
what was the
has
show
gotten easier.
about? What was the show about?
It was the same thing. It was well, there wasn't music, but I featured a different person every week. I did a lot of people from the farmers markets. I did anybody and everybody was welcome on my show, and I think that's been a hallmark of my programming that I've continued because, we first of all, we have so many interesting people
Hmm.
on the East End, and second of all, it was also part of something that I didn't like, that I loved from learning to be a journalist, but I didn't experience when I got into the business of publishing and journalism, which was I want to talk to everyone. I don't want it to be limited to, who's advertising, etc.
Yes. Yeah.
So I love that about my program. I love like living the mission.
Do you get to choose your own guests, or is it a
Oh yeah.
collaboration? Okay.
No, I choose my guests. I choose my guests. I choose my music. It is a lot. People are like, "Oh, well, you're only on the air 2 hours a day," and I'm like, "Do you have any idea
That's a
how
lot, and
much
every day you're talking
how
Monday
much
through
work
Friday.
I'm planning every single show, the guests, the music. I'm doing like, and then it's like trying to tame the inbox, the many inboxes. There's
I
so
mean,
there's
if anybody can understand what you go through, I think if Tracy and I would fully understand. And juggling and scheduling. I mean, we have
oh,
1 day a week, Friday, and
Yeah.
yet so many times our schedule has to be rearranged for
I
whatever
know we almost
reasons.
had it with
So
mine.
I can't even imagine what yours is like because you're 5 days a week, and
Oh my gosh.
sometimes you have more than one guest on, right?
Right? Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
And the first year that I was on air, at on what was then PPB after I moved over from the AM dial, I would have like upwards of 10 people. It was a 3-hour program, and I would have like upwards of, there wasn't as much structure. That's one thing that when WNET bought what was then PPB and changed it over to WLIW-FM, that was one thing that they did. They wanted a little bit more structure of the program, and they were like, just one guest per hour. Sometimes I push it every now and then if the community needs something, but like, oh man, like it was a gift for me because I was like running myself ragged. If someone wanted to come on, they
Yeah.
came in. So sometimes it was tough.
So kind of like ours, your format is also free flowing, right? You
Hmm.
don't have like a defined structure. You don't have a questionnaire you send out to people. It's really so how much research do you end up doing and like for me and us, I think what ends up happening is we just want to be part of the community. So we're already in that thread. So our
Hmm.
conversations end up being not easier, but they just flow. So how does it work
Hmm.
for you? Is that similar for you?
So I have like a balance now. Have found that less is better when it comes to prepping for an interview.
Agreed.
I do a little bit, um, right before, just so there's not something big that I'm not missing. But anytime, and with books, sometimes I'll do a list as I'm reading the book.
Okay.
I'll put a list of questions together, and that's helpful. But otherwise, I have done that where I've prepared like a list of questions, and it ends up making it sound like it just doesn't work. I'm a better, like a Larry King type. I
Yeah.
love to learn live. I like to just listen to the person that I'm with, and it's more real that way.
Yeah, we love it too. And the only danger is it can go in any direction. You know what
Yes.
I mean? Like, and you can miss out on. So sometimes the only thing I tell the guests is if they have something they need to bring up, right? Or something
Mhm.
they want to showcase, just bring the conversation back to that because our conversations can go based on whatever direction, like we opened the show starting talking about kids and
Yeah.
presents and,
But
and
Bluey,
Christmas on the
Bluey,
29th,
kids like Bluey, but Bluey is for the adults. So true.
Okay, so in that vein, is there something else you need to share about your program? I mean, I know we mentioned it's Monday through Friday, right? Obviously, you're not on
Hmm.
today. That's why you're
No,
able to be here.
Well,
I'm
and
here.
what's
Yeah.
what's the what's the dial number?
Okay, so we have always been 88.3 FM, and that's across the East Down and across the Sound to coastal Connecticut. We also acquired 96.9 in Manorville. That was shortly after WNET bought the station. That's central and western Suffolk County, and again, corresponding sections of Connecticut. But then last year, they bought 88.7, which is from Montauk to Rhode Island. So we
Ooh,
have
wow, so
three.
you're growing. Your reach is growing.
Yeah, I mean, that was before getting defunded.
Uh,
So that's why, like, I hope that people will protect this resource because it's
Mhm.
an important one. And like, this is a company that, like, they really practice what they preach. You know, like we are always elevating the presentation to the listenership. One thing that we did this past year was we got the cameras running in the studio. So
Yeah.
that one was big for me because when we got purchased, I was still doing like like Facebook lives, because that was something that I was doing when I was on the AM dial, and that had outgrown the station itself. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, I could take it off the air and take my, underwriters or sponsors with me and pay my intern, for example.
Hmm.
Ooh, that's
So
a
so
hashtag
when we got
goals for us.
yes,
A,
Shoot
right?
to
them
have an
to us,
intern and
please.
B, to be able to pay them.
It's possible. It's
Okay,
possible. And
okay,
so
2026, here we come.
Yeah.
it's totally I mean, I'm saying I was doing it back in, I don't know what year this was, but like in the mid 20, many 2017, 18, I think, around there. I don't know. I'd have to like look at my own history.
Gianna, can I ask you?
Yes.
So, we've all heard about the defunding of public
Yes.
radio and public television. Can you tell us what the reality of that is? Like,
The
what's
reality is
going to change?
the stations are shutting down, and sadly it's like the ones that are going to go first. I mean, you heard about it from like Alaska, is like rural areas where in which the local NPR station might be one of a very small, if not the only place that people are getting vetted information, like actual
And
information.
local information that actually impacts and affects them.
Yeah. And so it's devastating. It's absolutely devastating. It's indefensible. It's heart-wrenching from a journalistic perspective, as someone who understands like what journalism is and how important to a healthy democracy, things like public media are, and that like the things that are said negatively about public broadcasting like are baloney, and it's like it's a lot of this like living in the upside down kind of a feeling where the things that are said are the polar opposite of what the truth is, and it's terrifying. And
Yeah.
so, I know that we've all, like, our company has already experienced it. There's been a lot of loss of programming and things. And it's terrible because I know this company and its heart and like what it does. And so it breaks my heart to see that like less of a positive impact is going to be able to be made in the immediate future. And so I'm just trying to like do my part to make sure that like to stave off, and just and try to, like, I say when people leave and they're like, oh, this was so fun. I'm like, oh, well, I'll be, you know, both pinkies firmly entrenched. I'll keep broadcasting until they drag me out of this building. We're just, trying to fight the good fight.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like, what I love as a journalist about the public broadcasting model is that same reason why I loved kind of like being, like, I don't know. I love it because the people are my boss. They're the ones who get to decide
The listener. You mean the
if I'm doing the
listeners,
job or
right?
not. Yeah.
The
So
listeners.
it's not about, oh, do I have an editor that has it out for me because I'm a strong woman? There's none of that. I am here because that's what the people want. And that's who I'm beholden to.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Speaking of the people, let's
Yes.
talk about your tie to the East End and how
Okay.
your show focuses on the East End. So you mentioned a lot about Riverhead, but you also mentioned that you were from New Jersey originally. So how did you
Yes.
end up out here?
So I grew up on the Palisades and I went to J school in the Midwest, and I was with a guy who I was like, look, I'm going home to, after I graduated J school, I'm going to go to the coast and be with my family. You can come if you want. So he moved to New Jersey to be with me, but I moved to Long Island to be with him because he had gotten a job at a winery out here. And so that's how my East End journey began. And I remember when I moved here, which was it was a great transition back to the coast after living in the Midwest for like the lion's share, like 6 years. Um, uh, because it had that same feel of the Midwest, the farms, the
Yes. Yeah.
vistas, a little less people than New Jersey. But I felt a sense of home that I had never felt even in New Jersey. So when we split up, I stayed, even though it was crazy. And for someone to stay housed on the East End, if they are not from here, of money, etc., of means, it was a very difficult journey. And it was it was very, very, very hard.
And it hasn't
I
gotten
felt
any
crazy.
easier. It hasn't
No.
gotten
But
any
yeah,
easier.
I absolutely not. And so that's why I understand. It's hard. It's so hard. And again, both pinkies entrenched. There was something. I would sit with my dog on like on the Sound at like midnight, and I would think about all my contemporaries in the subway tunnels in the city, and I was like, I'm cheating somehow. Like
Right.
somehow I'm I've cracked the code. And even though it was so hard, some of the best things in life are, come through the hardest things.
Yes.
And so something inside was telling me just to keep going, don't give up. And I'm glad. I'm glad that I listened to myself, and that no matter who tried to stop me, and there were. I was surprised at, like, there that thing, like, people want you to do well but not better than them.
Yes.
That's the thing. And but I never gave up no matter what. And here I am today, still not giving up no matter what.
So if we were to go out to celebrate your journey, where would you take us for lunch,
Okay.
breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
So this was a difficult question because we have to go with the vibe. We have to go with the time, the vibe, and the budget. You know?
I love
So
Yeah.
this.
like
This is
it's like
very
if we're
specific. Okay.
it's like, okay, well, where are we? Are we in Greenport? Let's go to the Frisky or First and South. Let's check out the new Little Creek spot. That's probably where I'd want to go because I haven't been yet and it breaks my heart. I have gone out and like watched less films than ever because, I'm in it right now. We're in
Yeah.
it.
Yes. Yes.
The
Lunch
Little
in
Creek space
Riverhead,
is
like
really the
lunch
Little
in
Creek
Riverhead.
space is really cool. And if you don't know, they actually have a second space, which is their hold fast space, which is not the part of the restaurant, but they're going to be doing events and creative things
That's
there.
the
So you,
hall. That's where they did they had like the entertainment for
yes, it's called the hold
Ray's
fast
show.
space. Yes,
Nice.
yes,
Love them.
yes.
Um, the Wild Rums. Um, if we're in Riverhead for lunch, Farm Country Kitchen was always my lunch spot.
Yeah.
𝗘𝘀𝘀𝘁 Grill for
Oh,
sure.
yes.
One of my favorites.
There's a cute one if you don't know, which Haiku Sushi. I
Oh my
remember.
God, are you kidding me? It's
Yes.
Um,
my to-go sushi spot
okay, so
all the way
Yes.
from
when
South
I
Lowell.
was
And
tending
lovely
bar,
people. And lovely
yes.
Lovely
people.
people.
So I was tending bar at Tweeds, and Kenny says that I paid for his lights to stay on one year because I would have them walk over my lunch order many times a week. There's also a place I have been really trying to lean into Hispanic owned businesses this year, especially with certain delis losing up to half of their business with what's been going on with the immigration crackdown. There's a place called Olga's that's in the back. First of all, best tres leches
Wait,
there.
where is
And
this in
then,
Riverhead?
yeah, so Kenny has like a companion restaurant behind it that he usually rents out. And right now it's called Olga's.
Oh, I know
Okay.
exactly. It's right next to Haiku. Yes, it recently changed. I walked
So
past it and I
good.
Oh,
was
it
like,
was a
what is
taco
this?
Oh,
place for a long time,
Yes,
right?
it
yeah,
changed. It
right.
just
I don't
changed.
know if it's the
Yes.
same. I don't know if it's the same ownership. I'm sure you can get
It just
tacos
looks
there.
different. It looks
I
refreshed.
get the steak. I get the steak quesadilla. I love the tres leches. They have like freshly squeezed lemonade there.
Ooh.
So that's my new fave.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a
Well,
good.
thank you
Right.
for that because I
Yeah.
walked past it and it looked refreshed and I was like, what is this? So the next time, but
Of
it's, yeah.
course, if you're on Love Lane in Mattituck, stop by Love Lane Kitchen. Go to Carolyn's place,
I think we're
or
covering the
across the
entire
street and
fork.
sit down.
Anything in Kachog you
Oh
want to talk
yeah,
about?
girl, I always will. You got to go to the diner.
Yeah.
I don't. Manny, is that his name? Who was the manager or is the manager there? I love that story because Manny, he started out I think at Hellenic, and he told me that he only knew how to say yes when he started. And so every night they would ask him, "Do you want tuna fish?" And he would say yes, because that's all he knew how to say. So he ate tuna for like a whole year. And he is the most adorable. I don't know if he's still the manager at Cut Jog Diner, but
We haven't
he
had
would
them on.
help.
So you know what? We should
Yeah.
reach out to them and
Oh,
we'll get the story for
so
you.
Manny is so cute, and he helps people that are coming to the country like fill out all of their forms and get their kids enrolled in school, and I love people like that.
Mm.
Okay,
So
I mean this has
Cut
been a
Jog
long
Diner.
answer, but I will say this.
Yes.
With you being on the show, I really was hoping for some recommendation on
You
the
got it.
South Fork, but I love how you
Oh,
stuck with the
well,
North
I went
Fork.
with the North Fork. Well, let's see.
Oh my
So the South
God.
Fork, if you're getting lunch in Southampton, and I love a greasy spoon, I go to Sip and Soda. That's my place.
Sip and soda. Okay. Is
Like
it near your
once,
studio? Is it near your studio?
yes,
Okay.
once a year, and there's a great buffet style like luncheonette, like directly across the street. I think it's called Lux. It's like a market
You and
style.
I, we went in there, Sunita. You and I
Oh,
went in
okay.
It's
there.
nice, and
Okay.
they've got good fried chicken, and then sip and soda. Once a year, I'll go to Golden Pear and get a breakfast burrito. I love Keith and his staff, but I just personally can't afford, you know. It's
When you're treating
not in my
yourself,
budget.
when you're treating yourself.
Yes,
Okay, so
and
we're
I
hoping
get
when
it.
we come back in 2026, we hope we come back on your show.
Oh, I love
We
that.
will maybe when you're done, your show's 9 to 11.
Yes,
Okay, so good.
let's
So
get
we'll
lost.
you book us for 10:45 so we can all go out to lunch after together to one of these places.
Done, done. I'm looking forward to 2026, and I'm excited for you guys, and I'm excited for us. I really like I see the light on the other side. It has been a really hard year. Personally, I have not been able to sleep much. I have been paying all the attention to what's been going on. And it is something that has awakened in me something that I didn't know existed, other than, I always thought that journalism was the most important thing to me. I learned from becoming a mother, oh, that's not true.
Yeah.
Children. But then with this year, oh, that's not true. Being an American and what this country stands for is absolutely has that reserves a higher place in my heart and in my purpose. So I have been standing up and speaking out, and doubling down on my mission of telling the truth, because there are less and less people who can even understand what the truth is when they see it, let alone know what's going on, because there's been so much flooding of the zone with just bonkers misinformation that some people are like, they don't even know where to look first, let alone
Yeah.
being able to handle it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey. Okay, jumping back to Novo Life 5, you mentioned
Yes,
that you came to the North Fork or came to the East End because of a vineyard.
yes,
So if and you were a bartender, so this will be an
yes.
interesting question for you to answer. Are you a vineyard girl, cocktail, mocktail, brewery? Like, where would we find you?
It's the same answer as before. It depends
Oh
on the
my God, we're
vibe.
gonna be
It
here for another
depends on
hour,
it
Tracy.
depends on what you've got going on. I do have some favorites for bubbly. Of course, I love Sparkling Point. McCary always has a place in my heart, not just because of the quality of their wine, but because that's the reason why I came to the East End
Oh,
to
I
begin
love
with.
that you said that.
I
They have
love.
a special place in my heart too, just
Oh,
partly for their business practices. I mean, so many reasons,
Joe,
but
Alex, and the kids, I adore them, and like I love their product. I have a bottle of 𝗘𝘀𝘀𝗃 to give to a special lucky somebody uh, for Christmas. 𝗏𝗏, I love their wines as well, and I actually got to work for them for a short period of time before I went on the air. I took the job at what was then PPB, and then I was like, guys, I have to step back because I represent everyone and I don't want to play favorites, and journalistically it didn't vibe with or jibe with my, you know, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have any conflicts of interest.
Yeah.
But we have so many amazing vineyards and wineries. I special shout out to my girls at Peconic Cellar Door, 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗽 and Robin Epperson McCarthy of Chronicle Wines, Saltburn Cellars. I for sure they're like at the top.
they do live a fun life. They have a few labels, and I think Robin, I think it's Robin or one of the other,
Yes,
yeah, or maybe Ali is the winemaker for a couple of different vineyards, I believe,
Allie. It's
including
Allie.
Allie, yeah.
Ali,
Yeah.
including
Well,
Courteau.
actually,
So
they both are, because
yeah,
didn't
yes.
Robin just took over at not Quarry Creek? Is it Quarry Creek or their
Yeah,
Osprey's
I'm not
Dominion?
sure, but I know they do.
Osprey's
I mean,
Dominion.
I love that there are so many female winemakers on the North Fork. I think it's
Yes,
kick ass, you
yes,
know?
it is. Hell yeah,
Yes,
it is.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, agreed,
Okay,
agreed.
so I'm going to jump into Tracy's question. Do you cook at home? And if so, are there farm stands that you frequent by you, near you? I know there's a farmer's
So
market
I would
in
say,
Southampton,
yeah,
right?
I'm gonna go with the farmers market for now because in the winter that is a great place where you can find so many different
Wait, where do they
purveyors.
have it in
And
winter?
it's
I've
at
only seen the
right
summer one.
now, it's at the Twin Fork
Oh, brewery,
Brewery
Riverhead. Okay, yeah.
in
Okay.
downtown Riverhead. So that's what I would say, especially in the winter. It's Saturdays, I think it's 2 to 5 on Saturdays, or is it 1 to 5?
Yeah,
So
I don't know the time,
look it
but I
up.
believe it's Saturdays. We'll put a fire up.
Yeah,
I guess in my brain, I was just thinking Southampton because your studio is
tomorrow.
there. So I was thinking of the weekend. I think on Saturdays, is it in the morning? They have it
Yes,
on the green there.
Saturday afternoons.
Oh, is it afternoon? Okay.
Yes, I
So
think it's
you
1 to 5.
you mentioned trying to become a morning person. Are you a sunset watcher or a sunrise watcher? And where do you watch it?
Oh, I mean, if you can catch the sunrise, that's a very special
I caught it
experience.
today, actually.
That's best place for a sunrise is on the Shelter Island Ferry, the North Ferry. Well, for me, the North Ferry, I'm sure it's great on the South Ferry as well. Going in to be a cub reporter at the Shelter Island Reporter, that was like my favorite thing. Sunset, you got to watch it on the Sound. You know, anywhere you can find on the Sound. B3 is great, but anywhere on Breakwater Beach, anywhere on the Sound for sunset
Wait, what was the
is
first place you mentioned?
what?
B3.
B3.
Breakwater Beach?
Oh, B3. Okay, okay.
Yeah, Breakwater Beach in Matatuck.
That's Mattituck, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't want to miss any spot on the North Fork, so I want to know about all. But I have been there, so check.
Anywhere on the Sound, and you're gonna get a
Yeah.
show as long as the clouds are cooperating, you know?
And they're all different and they're all beautiful. Like sometimes I really do get in my car and drive to a different place just to absorb the energy and the viewpoint from there because they're all beautiful.
Yes. Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
Gianna,
It's a
thank you
very
for
special place.
everything that you're doing for the North Fork, the South Fork, for journalism, for everybody who lives here. Tell us in one summary why you love what you do and why you love the East End.
I mean, I remember being lied to as a kid and I remember there was a phrase I used to say is there's so much truth in the world. Why lie? You
Mm.
know, and I remember being upset watching the news deserts expanding across the country as newspapers were not able to compete or adapt quickly enough to a digital environment, and the rise of disinformation, and like hoping so much for a reform in my business, and a return to truth, a return to love. And now we're seeing that, what's at stake? Well, the country itself. So I'm sort of activated warrior status. Like we got to really get our ish together, get together, and realize there's like no war but class war. We all got to stand together and decide what we want the future to look like. If it's going to be full of, human created contents, products, etc. Or do we want disinformation, AI slop, corporations running amok, and the death of the mom and pop businesses and small businesses, and the ability or the middle class, period. So this is a time where we really need to be a lot more conscious of what we're consuming and what we're purchasing, how we're spending our time, and how we're, giving out our attention. So I just hope that people will be thoughtful. I am certainly going to be laser focused on it, and making sure that what I elevate is one another. We're standing together because that's the way we get through this. It's community.
Thank you.
Wow. Gianna, thank you for using your beautiful voice, just to stand up and speak for so many of us. I feel like you truly are the heart of the East End. So
Oh,
thank you for joining us. Can you real
thank
quick
you.
just give the link to your
Oh
fundraising
yes.
page?
Please, please, even if you have $1, that dollar will become three, thanks to our board of trustees, triple matching all donations that come into the door at WLIW-FM.org or call 800-262-0717 for a triple matched donation to keep public broadcasting at least continuing to grow right here in our own backyards on the east end of Long Island at WLIW-FM. Thank you guys so much. Happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa. It's the first day and it goes through the end of the year. Happy Hanukkah and Christmas as we just passed through, and happy Merry to New Year to both of you and everyone who is listening and watching.
Thank you so
Happy New
much. Thank you
Year.
so much.
Thank
Tracy
you,
and I
Jim.
are going to take the next week off, but we'll be
Oh,
back the
congratulations.
following week with the word of our year. So if that's
Oh, I
something
gotta
you
do
do,
some thinking. I gotta do some
yes,
thinking.
start
Okay.
doing some thinking to set intention for 2026. I think this was a great way to end 25. So
Yeah.
happy, merry everything, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.